The NFL draft, as we now know, fellas, will be fully virtual. Teams will work from their homes. And Mel, we asked Adam Schefter this earlier, but what have you heard in terms of reactions around the league?
Dealing with it. They obviously understand what the situation is, and you do the best you can. You have a communication open. They're obviously getting ready. They have plenty of time now to prepare for April 23rd, 24th, and 25th. It's going to be challenging for everybody doing things like this, that particular 3-day period, but they're going to get through it. Now, they got Todd, and we talked to the teams that are well-stocked in terms of personnel departments. They've been ready for a couple months now since the Combine ended. Best drafts in the history of the NFL were back in 1971 and 1974 by the Pittsburgh Steelers when you didn't have all this, Todd, going on. So they'll get it done. Some will complain a little more than others, but come April 23rd, they'll be ready.
Well, listen, Mel, to your point, it is what it is, and every team will have to deal with this. It's just where we are. And, Todd, I think at some point you have to turn your attention to trying to find an edge.
That's exactly what teams are saying. And, you know, it's not the old Marriott Marquis. Is that right, Kiper? I think that's where it started. But listen, teams are actually renting out hotels, like entire hotels, to try to get facilities where they can just go and sit down and watch the tape and discuss the players and do everything that they normally do. The thing that everyone that I've talked to, every GM that I've spoken to is most concerned about is the fact that the draft weekend is my bandwidth. I keep hearing bandwidth. I haven't heard bandwidth in like 10 years, but everything's about bandwidth and Wi-Fi. Is something going to cut out? Do I have a kid that's going to run in as I'm going to be making a pick in, you know, at 15 overall, whatever it is? So there's a lot of just different concerns that these teams have, but teams are trying to get an advantage now. And I talked to one GM who said, you know, I'm trying to think, what would Bill do? WWBD, right? What would Bill Belichick do? How would he get an advantage? And I'm trying to get a little bit of a slight advantage over everyone else in the league. And, you know, every team's trying to do what they can.
Yeah, there are worse questions to ask than that one. That's for sure. Let's turn now to some questions of our own, if we will. Burning draft questions, Mel. All right, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
I hope, Wendy.
Okay. All right, here we go. Could Herbert go before Tua?
Oh, boy, Todd's going to be screaming on this one. But, yeah, he could. You think about where you're sitting there in that top group. Do you want to go and take a Tua, who has the medical injury situation and the 3 injuries with the durability concern moving forward, or go with a quarterback who's been clean through this process, which was obviously interrupted? So it's a chance. I still have Tua rated ahead of Herbert.
This is a classic Kiper. This is so Kiper.
It's not classic.
This is exactly what you do. You take the 50th player. You take the 50th player, you put him in the top 25, and then you'll just gradually slide him back. You're doing the same thing with Herbert. I get it. I like Jordan Love, the Utah State quarterback, more than Justin Herbert, the Oregon quarterback. But you're trying to push him up because of the Tua situation.
No, not at all. It has nothing to do with the way I rate a player. I'm talking about what you hear is that Herbert is right now a guy that people have a very favorable commentary about, and they like him. Now, does Miami like him over Tua? There's been speculation, but nobody knows because they're going to play the game. Nobody wants to let anybody know who they really like or don't like.
Legitimate question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
Kipe, I'm just asking you.
Sure.
Have you legitimately talked to someone in the league who has said, I would take Justin Herbert over Tua?
Yes.
Okay.
End of story. Yes.
All right. Look, be careful, guys. I don't want any IT issues with you two right now, in case you cut out. Todd,
bandwidth.
Will 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10?
I don't know the top 10. I mean, we all know Joe Burrow is going to go number 1 overall. It's a 95% chance that it's going to be Cincinnati. Miami wants to move up and get him. If they can't, I have heard that they do like Justin Herbert, but Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the second quarterback off the board, in my opinion. Justin Herbert and Jordan Love are going to be the next 2 quarterbacks off the board. I've talked to teams that like Herbert. I'm rational, unlike Kiper, and Love I think is going to be right there with him. So it's going to be somewhere in that, I think, 10 to 20 range. All 4 of these quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. There will not be a 5th quarterback, in my opinion, that goes in the first round. But I'm not certain that they will all go in the top 10.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.